til Ståvå. Dette var Tobias Steen på en fredag, 7:10 akkurat nå. Det Knut Erik og Mats her, og så har vi med oss Kalle Tyrker. Og han skal ikke hjem til Ståvå, han skal...
Altså, jeg skal på en måte det samme som Tobias. Han skal hjem til Ståvå. Det hørtes som han ville hjem til liksom peisen og kos og...
Yeah, sure. It's okay. You'll get it.
Perhaps overwhelmed with emotions. This is the closest I've ever been with River.
Well, I'm very happy that you're bonding with your sister. Family is the most important thing that we have.
Been showering with gifts. It's made up for some lost time. We're young rivals, and I hope one day she sees me as a true equal. And then I will surpass her and crush her and no, I have to remember why we're...
Raph, two things that I'd like to say to you. One, if you ever fail as an Academy wizard, you definitely have a career in theaters, as your portrayal of a rat was strikingly appropriate and shockingly terrifying. Do not lose yourself in these roles. And number two, you called me your friend back on the docks.
I do not remember this.
And I want you to know that I trust you. I trust both of you. And I mean, rule number 60, stick close to those you trust. So, Raph, I haven't said this to you, but I'm glad you're here. And I am happy to have you as part of this team. And you can be junior vice deputy. I've elected you.
What an honor. I am humbled.
Wait, do you have that kind of power in Deerhaven?
No, but I mean, it's a useless title if we just tell him that he gets it. I mean, I'm just trying to make friends here, Rudy.
Alright, okay.
What a day.
You do you.
You head down, leaving the... it's been about a week since your last battles. And so now you depart the Kraken's... depart Kraken Manor and head down to the docks to meet the dock master, who eagerly thanks you for putting an end to the situation. There haven't been any brutal murders for the past week, although a few people have still walked off the docks. And he introduces you to Greshik, who runs a keelboat, a stinking, rotting keelboat that has a pile of, it just smells of fish. It just smells of dead fish. And so Greshik has a pair of a salty-eyed daughter and a rather dim-looking son, and the two of them are tending to the boat, getting it ready to set sail. And you can see as you come up, a rather portly wife. Greshik is talking to his wife, saying, "Don't you worry now. If we don't come back, that strange-looking Academy lady paid us a fair amount of gold, and she's also said that if I don't come back, that you're to go to her and you're to collect the extra payment. You understand?" And he says something, and then he says something about make sure to get that insurance.
I see that we found our boat captain and voyage vessel. I could have hoped for more.
I know she said it's stank, but who would want to live on a boat that smells like fish all the time? Crazy.
Perhaps fishermen. Perhaps they're used to it.
Bruce enjoys it.
Yeah, that's true. Cats would like smell fish all the time.
That's good for Bruce.
Alright, he says to you, "Now, welcome, Greshik. This is Knight's Spittoon, my ship. Been in my family for, well, at least 30 years. My father owned it, my grandfather owned it, my great-grandfather owned it. Now I'm 40 years old, so I've lived longer than any of my grandparents, and I don't intend to die out on this trip out to Ashap. You understand me?
Of course.
None of us do.
Now we're gonna tow the rowboat behind. And once we get out there, once we get inside of that awful lighthouse, you're gonna take this boat here. You can take the oars in the rowboat. You can paddle yourself out that way. You understand?
Yes. Do you mind if I inquire, what is it that makes you not wish to approach the shore?
Them folk, them Ashafan folk, they're a weird bunch.
That's
First time I've heard that. What's
so.
so weird about 'em?
Yeah, the weirdness keeps you from going near that place. I mean, there are weird folk here.
They got a
Look at this
strange
one.
look about them. Not like, I mean, this one's very weird looking, but
Point to Raph.
Yeah, I'm pointing at Rat. Like him?
No, they say.
I'm yelling at Bruce, get on the boat. Yes, there's fish on there. That's why it smells like that.
They got a strange look about them. Like, you could just see right through them. They're all so thin.
Damn.
I don't think he means what it sounds like he means. Otherwise, he would be much more knowledgeable about the ongoings than he would appear. But I'm going to take him at a surface value for his words and assume that that was a weird coincidence that has triggered something inside of me.
You're saying all of this out loud, Wilhelm.
Oh, I'm doing it again.
Now, sir, you mean thin as in like gangly?
I'm saying, them folk, they live on a good stretch of fishing lands. They're too thin. Think of all the money they get in their catches. They'd be fat. Fat ones.
Or
So you
maybe they
stay
have
away.
dietary restrictions. Who knows?
Yeah, you stay away from shore based on diets and funny looks. I mean,
My colleagues, maybe we cannot chalk up these strange coincidences to dietary restrictions. I have a feeling it might go deeper.
he's not the first person to talk about the weirdness around Ash Bay. And I mean, rule number
There's
7
another
is...
fishing.
Oh, I see.
Restrictive diets, that's all. That's why. Oh, okay.
Past while it's been around that area. There's been pretty deep fog. And I don't know, people are saying it's put them in a bad way.
What color is this fog? Is it like a normal fog, or are we talking... does it appear...
Incomprehensible.
Does it appear as an incomprehensible? Good word, Wrath.
No,
An
there's
incomprehensible fog.
a color to it.
Oh, good. Well, this
Makes
sounds
people
like
sick.
berries to me.
Does it make people sick when they go in it?
Gives me a terrible headache. Don't, you know, some folk have been out fishing that way and come back just not feeling right.
Wonder, Wrath, well, if River knows that they might be this haze thing that she was talking about over by Ash.
Well, she gave you that smart stone, so perhaps relaying that
Caller.
message to her might be today's mission.
You'll see it when you get there. It's strange.
Does it send pictures?
Pictures, like drawings. I don't think the Smart Stone can draw.
Maybe next year's one. It's frustrating. It's so limited.
People describe it. I'm sure we can describe it to her, like most people would pass on information. Do you paint?
I'm a master of painting word pictures, so I can describe just about anything.
All right, we'll give her a call. Let her know. Maybe when we get closer, we can really determine if it's that's what it is and what she described to us.
So I'll take you up past that way. And then you can take the boat. It's yours from there. You're on your own for getting back, though. You understand?
Well, that's just great. Yes.
That's how it usually goes.
Sounds like the people at Ashhaven aren't doing much fishing over there, so they might have a boat we can borrow.
Alrighty. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Alright. Don't talk to my kids.
How
Okay.
long is the journey?
I'm
Is
real
it
good
gonna
with
be
kids,
like
though.
days of us ignoring your
It's
kids?
like a day.
I just
If you
pop
talk
out my
to-
wallet
if you-
and I say, you know what? I have 10 kids of my own, and I pop out my wallet and I show my kids. I'm great with kids. My grandbabies too.
Those are some kids.
Movies is observant
They
with
work
the
hard.
fog.
Of course they do.
So do I. Don't talk to my kids when they're working.
All right.
Well, we must be respectful of the captain's wishes.
It's going to be a very quiet day and a half. I'm probably just going to read over my rules again and smoke my pipe and relax.
Probably put my axes together.
As you board the boat and the crew wordlessly, the Captain Greshik barks orders to his kids, but it's more of a grunt, right? He's one of those like salty older men. Like he said he was 40, but if he said he was 60, you wouldn't believe him. And he orders the kids around who, they themselves, they can be easily in their 30s themselves, but they have this dour, sour look to them, like there's the sallow patches in their eyes. They get the sails going, get the boat going forward, and they tow the rowboat behind them. He says, "You all can sit down in the cabin."
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, with that, is there anything else you'd like to do as the boat departs?
Be uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
I feel like I'm just like sitting there, like not wanting to touch anything. I don't know who to talk to. There must be, over the next day and a half, perhaps we should find a way to break bread with this captain. I mean, if we can get him talking, perhaps we can learn more about the mysteries he's seen on the bay.
In the evening, he comes down with some hard bread and some salted fish, and opens up a cask of this watery ale. You eat?
Yes, do you drink?
Kids will have the ship going through the night. They'll just
Then
be fine.
join us for a drink, will you?
All's well and good. What y'all need to get out to Ashhaven so fast for?
You're from Dransmond, correct? You've probably heard of the horrible
I
things.
come up from a little village on the other side of the bay. Not from Dransmond originally.
Fair enough. Have you heard of the stories as of recently about the horrible things happening in Dransmond, the people that went missing?
Aye.
We have reason to believe that it leads back to this location, this area. So we're looking into it to see if we can help.
Seems pretty bad. I mean, people have been dying around all this area for years, as far as I'm concerned.
How many years? Would you say that there was a time before that people died less around these parts? And how long ago would you say that was?
Storm comes in, knocks over a bunch of fishing boats, 100 sailors die, little village starves to death. Don't see a bunch of weird looking folks in purple robes coming around with what folks die about for those reasons.
I'm gonna pour him another drink as we're talking.
Don't see folk
sort of things have you seen around the bay? Anything very unusual? Anything? Any folklore or strange fisherman stories? I've heard that fishermen have some of the greatest stories about sirens and.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Maybe about, I don't know, must have been 8, maybe 10 years ago. Around when, you know, there was all the war going on, right? And we were first starting to hear word of people going to that city. You know, a bunch of folk came back, started hauling up whatever ships they could, hired a big old boat, and hired a bunch of folk. There were folk coming off from way off. Like I tell you, must have been maybe about 6 years ago. We started getting folk in here from across the sea, coming in.
Across the sea?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, like we'd never seen before. Like I tell you, no, we've always had folk coming from all parts across. Dransman's the biggest port in the whole western part. But I mean, we had folk coming from Mount this or that, and even further lands beyond. You wouldn't even know. Like I'd never seen folk in ships like that coming before. And of course, a few of them came, and well, there was this boat, called it the Empress Geraldine, and they said that they'd been buying a bunch of them rocks.
From across the sea, and I'm gonna top off his drink again.
No, it was the Geraldine that come from across the sea.
And to buy rocks. Were they taking it back across the sea?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That night, we set out. Worst storm we've ever had in Ash Bay in 50 years hit. And the Empress Geraldine didn't make it out of the bay.
Full of these rocks.
That's what they say.
Whereabouts did it sink? Is it near where we're headed?
Yep.
Very interesting. Good story, if I do say so, Captain.
I don't know how much stock I put in it.
Well, you know rule number 7, follow a rumor, but do not give it value until you prove it's fact.
Captain, how long ago was this?
Must have been the wreck of the Geraldine. Maybe 6, 7 years back.
I'm gonna pour him a little more ale. And you've been boating around these parts for some time. You're not interested in seeing what happened to the Geraldine?
No, but that wreck of the Empress Geraldine, it's at the bottom of the bay now. Good riddance.
Of course, Wilhelm,
You ever-
fishermen don't have time to go exploring wrecks on the bottom of the ocean. They're very busy people.
Fair enough, but you ever been out by that way since?
People never went to Ashhaven all that much. But they've always been strange folk. But it was only a few years ago that fog started moving in. Waters got tougher. The folk of Ashhaven started coming around less and less. That's why I'm not taking you close. That's why I'm
reclusive. Keep to themselves. Wonder what changed.
What was the captain's name again? I'm forgetting.
Greshik.
Greshik. Well, Greshik, I thank you for joining us for drinks this evening. It's been very insightful. I've always enjoyed the story of fishermen. They do tend to have some of the more interesting tales around these parts. That fog that you spoke of, would you say, what, shortly after the crash of the boat is when it appeared, correct?
Yeah. He says, come on up. Sun's going down. And as he comes up, he says, you get this far out, you see it. Points onto the horizon, just as the sun's going down. He says, you see that spot of color? Like that color that you can't say what it is.
Yeah.
That's where the Geraldine went down. Fog don't show up at night, but at least not as thick as it does in the day. But every day it's there.
Even in bad weather, it doesn't blow away.
No.
It's unnatural.
It is unnatural. You, encounter any creatures out on the water? Anything unnatural?
Not me. A bunch of boys have said that they've seen swimmers, fish with arms coming up. I used to think it was all mermaid tails and all that kind of tall tails, big fishes. But there's truth to it, I tell you that.
Indeed.
Once in a while you come out and people say not to spend the night in the bay. Hopefully you don't have the nightmares tonight. Sleep well.
Nightmares?
People don't spend the night in the bay, and here we are.
Alright. Anything else you want to ask?
No, that. I think he's been. I don't know. What do you guys have anything?
I mean, he definitely has a distrust for the academy. But transport.
All of you can roll a d6 as you settle down for the night.
Oh boy.
4.
Wrath?
1.
Hey, remember last time when we said we were due for some ones?
We are due.
As the nights pass, in the midst of the night, Wilhelm and Wrath, the two of you dream. And in your dream, you see a reef deep beneath the sea. It's like a city sprawling out endlessly. All through it are tendrils of blackness, and you're swimming for the reef until in the midst of your dream, a massive wave comes up. You wake up in a tree with cool stress, and you both take 10 psychic damage. You do not, you can each make a wisdom saving throw.
Me too?
Nope, Rudy, you don't need to.
I get a
I'm
6.
Snoring.
I get a 16.
So, Wilhelm, you take the psychic damage. Wrath, you do not. Wilhelm, you actually don't get the benefits of your rest this evening because of it. But Wrath, you do. You wake up screaming in the morning yourself. Rat, you sleep right through it. But Wilhelm, you have awful nightmares that last the rest of the night. Nightmares of something pulling you into the depths. Visions of strange structures. As if you are watching from outside your own body this cyclopean monolith surrounded by a terrible, lurking, many-tentacled fish.
I wake up in a cold sweat, let out a scream, and come to terms with the fact that the last several weeks have caused me to have deep-seated issues with tentacled monsters.
What's all this racket you're making?
I had one of those dreams the captain warned us about, Wrath Rudy. There was
Sure it's not the ale.
the captain had more than me. I only had a glass. I had three. I had 3 glasses.
I know. And I prestidigitate the sweat away from your brow.
Listen, I was swimming in a reef. There was fish people and darkness, and then there was this mouth with tentacles all consuming. It reached out to devour me, and you were there, and you were there. And no, sorry, those were fish folk. It was terrifying, though.
You're having a little bit of anxiety about finding the fish folk.
Listen,
No, Rudy, I had a similar dream.
Did you?
Wait,
I
what?
always have weird nightmares, and sometimes they are of things that Bruce is showing me, but this was too specific.
With
The way
with the maw and the tentacles and
Wilhelm
the
described it,
coral.
yes.
So you both had the same dream.
Huh. If that's
And
not
you saw the
concerning.
city.
The city in the water. The city of fish people, I presume.
Well, forever.
Yes. It was unnatural. It was unnatural in every sense of the word. It was unnatural.
This could be the area telling us something.
Perhaps if we venture towards a spot near one of these elven ruins and near a large source of delirium, perhaps you and I may have just seen through the thin veil between places in our dreams.
That is very, very interesting. I never thought of it like that. I would have to reflect on it.
Might be a warning.
River said something about the Dreamlands being one of the realms, one of the planes. So, I mean, I'm only drawing loose comparisons and connecting things as best I can as a non-magical person. But dreams might be a gateway like anything else to these places, and it comforts me a little bit to know that somebody else had this horrible nightmare. I've had nightmares before, but this one was troubling.
Kind of does the opposite for me, actually. The fact that y'all both had the same dream gives a little bit more importance to the fact
I'm gonna
that
stop the stream now. I'm waiting
something's
for
going
my
on here.
apprentice
Well, we
to
already knew
arrive.
something was going
The subway
on.
was late or
I
something,
mean,
so.
But maybe something